You think silence is just a pause, a space you need to figure out your thoughts without saying something you can't take back. You think pulling away will protect you, give you breathing room, or maybe even test if she cares enough to chase. You don't see it as abandonment. You see it as necessary. You might even think it's kinder than saying the wrong thing, that it's just a quiet place where you can gather yourself and come back when you're ready. But what you don't see is what happens on her side of that silence. Because to her, it doesn't feel like space. It doesn't feel like a pause. It feels like rejection that she can't quite name. It feels like the warmth you once gave her being ripped away without explanation. Like a door she didn't even know was closing is now shut, and she doesn't know if you will open it again. It feels like confusion in the middle of the night. Checking her phone for a message that doesn't come, replaying every conversation in her mind, trying to figure out if she said too much, if she was too much, if she did something to make you pull away. You think silence is neutral, but for her, it's loud. A constant echo of your absence in the moments she wishes you were there. In the moments she needs reassurance but can't find your presence. Your silence isn't just quiet, it's heavy. It sits in her chest and makes her question herself. Makes her question you. Makes her question if what she felt was real, and if you felt it too. It's the uncertainty that hurts her. The unanswered questions you leave behind in the quiet. The way she starts blaming herself for something you haven't even explained. Asterisk when you go silent. Something shifts inside her, even if she tries to hide it. She starts to wonder if she's too much, if she should have held back, if she should have texted less, talked less, felt less. She starts reading her own messages with suspicion, questioning the way she used her words, the emojis she chose the moment she opened up to you, thinking it was safe. She begins to shrink. Her laughter softens, her messages get shorter. Her presence feels smaller because she thinks she has to be less to keep you close. She starts apologizing without ever saying the words, "I'm sorry." It's in the way. She hesitates before sending a message, the way she drafts and deletes. The way she second-guesses sharing pieces of her day with you, afraid she will annoy you or push you further away. She becomes careful, so careful, trying to keep your attention without knowing what made it slip in the first place. It's a silent apology in every moment she holds back who she is. It's believing maybe if she's quieter, softer, less needy, you will return. She stops asking if you're okay, not because she doesn't care, but because she assumes it's her fault you're not. She edits herself, shrinking down to fit into the empty space your silence has created, not out of manipulation, but out of fear that she's losing you and doesn't know how to stop it. Your silence makes her believe she's the problem, that she needs to fix herself, to fix the distance growing between you. You may not notice these small changes, but they are there in every cautious text, every delayed reply, every moment she swallows words she wants to say, hoping you will come back to her without realizing she's losing herself in the process. Asterisk when your silence stretches on. She becomes a quiet detective in her own life, searching for clues in places that used to feel warm. She scrolls through your old messages late at night, reading your words over and over, looking for the exact moment your tone changed. The moment your replies got shorter, the moment you stopped using her name, stopped sending her those small emojis that made her feel close to you. She listens to your old voice notes, not because she wants to torture herself, but because she is trying to hear something she missed, trying to find reassurance in a voice that now feels distant. She watches your online status, your stories, noticing your presence but not your attention, wondering why you can be online for the world but silent for her. She becomes cautious, overthinking, but not because she wants to, but because you've left her with no explanation, no closure, only gaps she tries to fill with reasons that always circle back to her being the problem. She analyzes every memory you've shared, wondering if you meant what you said, wondering if she misread the way you held her hand or the way you looked at her when you said you cared. She tries to find a reason to trust your silence, but the longer it stretches, the harder it becomes. She's not trying to be dramatic. She's trying to survive the uncertainty that your silence has brought into her world. Ash! She replays the last call you shared, remembering your laugh, remembering your comfort, and she wonders why it disappeared without warning. She wants to believe you're just busy, that you'll come back. But your silence becomes evidence in her investigation, and every piece of it whispers a fear that you've already left her without saying goodbye. Asterisk. Your silence doesn't just change the present. It starts to change the way she sees the past too. She used to look back on the moments you spent together and feel warmth, feel seen, feel chosen. Now, your silence makes her question if any of it was real. The times you told her she was beautiful. The nights you stayed up late talking about dreams and stupid small things. The way you looked at her when you thought she wasn't watching. She replays all of it and wonders if you meant it. Or if she was just another moment for you. She doesn't want to doubt you, but your silence gives her no choice. It's like a shadow over every memory, making her question the authenticity of the smiles you shared, plans you made, the softness in your voice when you told her you missed her. She used to find comfort in those memories, but now they feel tainted, like pieces of a puzzle that don't fit anymore, because you've left her without explanation. She stops talking about you to her friends, not because she doesn't care, but because she can't answer the questions they gently ask about you. She doesn't want to admit that she doesn't know why you've gone quiet, doesn't want to speak out loud the fear that maybe you never cared as much as she did. She starts to feel embarrassed about how deeply she let herself fall for you, how openly she shared her world with you, how much she trusted that your presence was real. Your silence makes her feel like she was naive for believing in the promises you never officially made but always hinted at. Every time she remembers your words, they feel hollow now, echoing with the emptiness you've left behind without even realizing what you've taken from her. Asterisk. There comes a moment when the waiting becomes heavier than the hope she's been holding on to. She stops checking her phone first thing in the morning to see if your name is there. She stops scrolling through your old conversations for comfort. She stops rehearsing what she would say if you finally decided to reach out again. She realizes that closure isn't coming from you, and as much as it hurts, she starts to create it for herself. She cries, not because she is still waiting, but because she is letting go. Grieving the version of you she held on to, the version of you that felt safe and real. She deletes the chat she once reread, removes your photos from her favorites, stops visiting your page to see what you're doing. It isn't out of anger. It's her way of accepting the silence you gave her. She tells herself it's okay to move on without an explanation, even if it feels like ripping a part of her heart out to do it. She stops blaming herself for your silence. She stops questioning if she was too much, too emotional, too open. She realizes she was exactly who she was meant to be. And if that was too much for you, it's not her burden to carry anymore. One morning, she wakes up and chooses herself over confusion, peace over the chaos of wondering why you disappeared. She puts on her makeup a little differently that day, smiles at herself in the mirror, and feels a small spark of freedom she hasn't felt in a long time. Your silence no longer holds her hostage. She doesn't need your words to heal. She doesn't need your presence to feel whole again. Moves forward quietly but powerfully, reclaiming herself piece by piece.